Hello, my name's Martin Crumpton and I'm doing another one of my television reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about The Big Bang Theory, which I'm sure you must have heard of because it's absolutely everywhere, and deservedly so because it's brilliant. It's one of my favourite shows. It's the best comedy around, has been since it started, and it's still going strong. It's on its 9th season at the moment. It's over 200 episodes, 203 episodes so far, and it's confirmed for a season 10 and 11 as well. And you might be thinking, surely that's enough. That's enough now, sort of like 11 seasons of seeing these sort of nerds hang out in an apartment. But you'd be wrong thinking that, because it's not enough. There couldn't possibly ever be enough. If The Big Bang Theory ever ends, I will be furious. I would be tempted to get on the first flight to Washington DC and march around in front of the White House with a placard going, "Bring it back! Bring it back! We need more nerds in the apartment! Want it to go on forever!" Sort of bang. If I can get up to the White House door, I might even sort of act like I have a gun, sort of like, "Bring back the Big Bang Theory! God damn it! Bring it back!" I might even actually have a gun and fire off a few rounds just to, show that I mean business. And I expect a lot of other people will be doing the same as well, but let's not worry about that now, because it's not being cancelled. Thank God. It's confirmed for a couple more seasons yet, which is obviously great news. So some backstory about the show. I'm sure you've seen it, but it's about these nerds, and there's like the characters are really good. There's like an Asperger's one, there's a Jewish one, there's an Indian one, there's a woman one, and then there's a sort of more sort of normal one. He's still a nerd, but he's the most sort of normal, which means he's the one that's allowed to date the attractive woman one. And they have a really crazy relationship that's great. And the Asperger's one, he's called Sheldon, and he's brilliant. He's the funniest one. He's so funny. He's sort of so funny. He's almost too funny, because when I'm laughing at it, I laugh so much at it, it's like I'm almost being sick laughing. It's like I could sit there just laughing at it, just really laughing like a feral chimp, like a cackling hound. I'll be sat there laughing at it. And it's a great family show, because I often watch it with my 5-year-old learning disabled cousin, and he absolutely loves it. It's his favourite show. And he sort of writes down ideas for things that could happen in episodes, and he's been doing that for years now. And then amazingly, some of the things he wrote down have actually become episodes since that happened. So he's on the exact same wavelength with the people making it, which I think is great, because they know their audience so well. But yeah, Sheldon, I mean, you might think he'd be annoying, like a character that sort of petulant and repetitive. You could imagine that getting annoying, especially after like 10 years of it, but you'd be dead wrong. You'd be wrong, because he's not. It's funny. It's not annoying. You could imagine it being annoying. You could imagine sort of wanting to reach into the screen and grab him by the throat and just start throttling him, sort of like, Sheldon. And he's turning purple and his eyes are bulging out, and he's begging you to stop, but you don't. And you squeeze harder and harder and harder and harder, and his eyes are popping out of his skull. They're all bloodshot. He's got die, Sheldon, die. And then you're hitting him as well, and you're punching him in the face. And and you're really getting, and your blood pressure, and his brain's just, and he's turning into sort of a mulch, and your fists are all covered in his brains, and you're stupid, unrealistic character, and you're just all covered in blood, and just the charred remains of his skull sort of sticking into your knuckles, and he's all destroyed, and then you sort of rummage it all up, and sort of he's all a sort of mulchy mass. You gather it all up and you put it in a black bin bag and you throw it in a canal, and only then would you feel a sort of deep sense of satisfaction and relief, like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God he's gone. Oh, I don't have to ever listen to him saying anything ever again. You know, you could imagine that very easily being the case, but it's not, because he's funny. He's always funny. There's like funny things on it. Like they say this funny word, bazinga. I don't know why. It's just really funny. Every time they say it loads of times, even if there's no sort of joke attached to it or any sort of funny thinking behind it. It's just funny when they say that word every single time they say it. So what I did is I went online and I found this t-shirt, and on it said bazinga, and I was like, that's so funny because that's what they say in the show. So I ordered it, and I've got it. I'm not wearing it now because I accidentally dropped it in a fire, which was a silly thing to do. There's an accident, so I don't have it anymore, which is a real shame because that was my favourite. Was my favourite t-shirt for a while. And yeah, the Big Bang Theory's just got such commitment to quality and great writing, and it's been so strong, going on for, you know, almost 10 years now. And it's filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is when, cause sometimes even if I don't get the joke, the audience laughs and I'll sort of laugh as well, sort of like a Pavlovian dog. I'll hear the laugh and I'll go, yeah, that's funny, ha ha ha, and I'll laugh as well. So it's filmed, is the live studio audience thing. It's a really great sort of steadfast commitment to this sort of outdated 90s way of doing television comedy. You know, there are other shows that have sort of quite sinfully and wrongfully drifted away from that 90s sort of way of doing comedy, which I think is a real shame. But The Big Bang Theory is just sticking it out. It's still going. It's like a sort of rusty old cog that won't turn, and it's sort of wanting to go. It's going, no, I'm not gonna change. I'm staying the same for 10 years. And one of the people behind it, one of the main creators, Chuck Lorre, the previous show he did was 2.5 Men, which was about sort of Charlie Sheen if he had to look after like this fat little boy, which is funny, with his sort of nerdy mate. And that was very much the same, filmed in front of a live studio audience. So yeah, Chuck Lorre, he knows what he likes and he's dedicated to it, and I don't think he'll ever do anything different, which I think is really inspiring. He knows what he wants and he's going to keep doing it again and again and again and again and again. He's going to make millions of dollars doing it, and he is laughing. And, you know, he deserves every penny because he's a talented man. Yeah, because I think the actors in it are fantastic, but it's the writing that, all the jokes. I don't always get all of the jokes because there'll be some of the jokes they'll say like this long sentence that has big words in it, and I won't get what the sentence means, but then that's why it's funny, because they're nerds. They're talking about all this nerdy stuff and it's like, look at the nerds. Or there'll be a joke, there's always these jokes, right, where say the Indian one will come into a room and he will say something really nerdy, and the Jewish one will come into the room and he'll say something really nerdy as well. And then the sort of more normal nerdy one with the attractive woman girlfriend, they'll both come into the room, and then the normal nerdy one will say something nerdy as well, and then the blonde woman one, who isn't a nerd, remember, she'll say something that not only highlights the fact that yes, they are indeed nerds, but what she says will also point out that she herself is not a nerd, and the difference therein is incredibly amusing. And it's jokes like that that are just really, really funny and really amusing. No matter how many times they do them, they're still really funny. And my only sort of warning about The Big Bang Theory is that it's so funny, you want to be careful, because there have been times where I've been laughing at it. I've been laughing like, it's like I can feel I'm running out of air in my lungs, and I can feel my brain sort of going, because it's so funny. And I'm sort of thinking, hold on, I'm going to have an aneurysm or something in a minute, and my lungs are going to explode, and I'm going to die, you know, so you've got to be careful with that. Perhaps don't watch too many episodes back to back, because, you know, you're gonna, I don't know if you can laugh yourself to death, but if you can, you'll probably do it to The Big Bang Theory. So perhaps limit yourself to the amount of episodes you're watching, because it is funny. You know, especially that Sheldon. He's the one. He's the one that will do it to you, because you could imagine when you're watching him, you could imagine sort of wanting to get a hammer and just start smashing his skull like that. And blood would be going all over your face, and you wouldn't care. You'd just be there going, it's so easy to imagine that, and yet that isn't the effect at all. It's one of sheer joy, and it's won like Emmys and things, and loads of people watching it. It's really popular, and you could imagine you watching it and thinking, why? How is this so popular? You can imagine sort of wanting to get not only Sheldon but the creator guy, Chuck Lorre. You can imagine sort of getting him by the throat and going, how have you done this? How have you made so much money from making these shows? You could so easily imagine that. Another funny thing it does is that it sort of has these it has this potentially awkward sort of racist undercurrent, which I really like. It's like the Jewish one, he's got this sort of stereotypically sort of you know, this sort of overbearing, nagging Jewish mother, which sort of really nicely sort of perpetuates that stereotype. And the Indian one, his parents are sort of wanting him to be involved in an arranged marriage. So that's funny. And it's got like references to lots of other sort of sci-fi fantasy things. So if you're a fan of them, you sort of, it's like they're trying to go, we like that as well. We're like you, aren't we? We're in on it. So they can sort of, it's like they're sort of almost co-opting other areas of popular culture to sort of try and get in on that, to kind of, you know, to kind of, they cling to it and they're going, look, we've got this, and you know, we like the Marvel comics, they're popular, aren't they, the Marvel movies and everything, so if you like that, you'd probably like us as well. We've got the sword from Game of Thrones on the wall, that's popular, so you know, we're in on that popular thing, so you can come join us. You know, it's got that, which is another real strength to it. Talking about it so much has just made me want to go watch it now, so I'm going to go watch some of the episodes, and you should as well. Thanks.